wanted this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Sir Knight, we got Chef, we got Martin, Christopher, Arturo, JK, Robert. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are going to be talking some Arizona Cardinal news. It just dropped probably about 30 minutes ago. If you don't follow me and my social medias, highly recommend you do so just because you get the news a lot quicker that way. But, you know, if you love these live streams, I love doing it anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about some breaking news that we just heard earlier today. We did make a short about it. We did make multiple posts about it as well. But I understand there's not a lot of people that, you know, look at community tabs and don't look at the shorts. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the one time, let's ring the bell. Let's ring it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Gannon just came on probably about 30 or 40 minutes ago saying that special teamer slash safety Joey Blount that actually got hurt in week 1 in a special teams play is done for the season. I don't know if you guys know this or if you guys already heard it, but Joey Blount is done for the season. This is pretty big news in the world of the special teams because this is a dynamite special team player. And not just that, he was voted a captain. He was voted a captain for the 2025 Arizona Cardinals, and that comes from, obviously, the players within the locker room. So seeing and hearing Joey Blount is done for the season and now headed to IR with a neck injury is a pretty darn big blow. It's very unfortunate. Now, I try to dig and try to find out if there was any news on Cody Simon, which is our 4th round pick this last year. I don't think there's really much of an update, or at least I didn't see an update from Cody Simon. Let me do one last search here real quick before I say that there's no update. But what we know right now is Joey Blount that was taken out of this last game in week 1 and did not return. He's done for the season. Terrible news. Very, very terrible news. Now, with that being said, we all talked about what could potentially happen here, right? Because you're missing a roster spot, right? Now that one of the guys are now being put on IR, you have to kind of fill in the void. What do the Cardinals do? Now, the Cardinals already made a move. And it's going to make some people happy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Simi Fehoko, wide receiver, probably one of the best wide receivers in preseason, if I'm going to be honest with you, is now been elevated to the Arizona Cardinals active roster. Can we get some fire emojis in the comments below? Let's go. Simi Fehoko is officially back. Now, if you don't follow him on social media or, you know, TikTok or X and Twitter, I highly recommend you do so. Not a guy that's born and raised here, so it's kind of funny for him to see, especially as an outsider now living here, all the kind of things that we see on a day-to-day basis. But honestly, he's really a good follow. He kind of takes you step by step in terms of the process of what happened during preseason, as well as what happens if he gets signed back in the practice squad or not. It's really kind of cool to see that personal side. But Simi Fehoko is back. Now, this might not be a big deal to some people, but to be honest with you guys, I'm going to make a big deal out of it, and here's the reason why. In week 1, the Arizona Cardinals had 3 players, 3 wide receivers to be specific. They all accumulated less than 10 yards amongst the 3. That's not okay. Michael Wilson with 5 yards in 1 reception. Zay Jones with 1 reception, 4 yards. Greg Dortch with 1 reception, -2 yards. Now, I guess technically they amounted to 9 yards, all 3 of them, but because there's a -2, I subtracted that 11, and now that puts them at 9 yards in accumulation of all 3 of them. I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay to see what Simi Fehoko can do. Now, is he going to get the reps? I mean, that's the big question out here, right? Is he going to be getting a nod over Michael Wilson, Zay Jones? Most likely not. Maybe Greg Dortch. You never know, right? Just to kind of get a different look out there. But this is exciting, at least for me. This is probably our preseason watch that we were basically focusing on. I think he scored 2 touchdowns, if I can remember correctly. He was doing good. He was doing very, very good in preseason. That's why I'm very, very surprised he was not in the active roster when the 53-man roster was constructed. But like we said, just based off of injuries and the ever changing things of the 53-man roster, things can change, right? And now he landed himself on the 53 for the Cardinals now as an active roster, which I'm actually really excited about. 6'4", 225 pounds, 27 years old still. He was a 5th-round pick by the Dallas Cowboys, spent some time with the Chargers, and now he is with the Arizona Cardinals. And he made himself a name. He really did, especially amongst the Arizona Cardinal fans. We really do like him. We want him to get an opportunity. But at this very moment, it seems like the Arizona Cardinals right now are steadfast that it's going to be Marv, which makes sense, right? Also, who's the other one? Sorry, Michael Wilson and then Zay Jones. That most likely is going to be your 1, 2, and 3. So is Simi Fehoko going to be making a big impact week 2? Probably not. Probably not. But Joey Blount is pretty big news. Let's read some comments here in the chat below. We got Jameson saying Drew Petzing problem. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Yes and no, right? Yes and no. I've said it very specifically what I do not like from Drew Petzing, right? And I don't know if you guys ended up chiming in into my conversation that I ended up having with my guy Mythic AZ, which is another content creator for the Arizona Cardinals, has his own channel. Great things over there. Check him out if you guys can. But yeah, I mean, me and him had a conversation about it, and it's so weird to see. Like, we're a run heavy team, right? Like that's supposed to be our identity. That's supposed to be what the Arizona Cardinals are supposed to be doing. But like, there's other run heavy teams in the NFL, and I don't think anybody's going through this big mystery that we're seeing week in, week out, year in, year out, month in, month out. I don't get why the Arizona Cardinals just can't figure out to give the number 2 option at wide receiver at least 20 to 30 to 40 yards a game. I don't understand it, and I don't think I ever will. There's multiple other teams that are run heavy in the NFL that do not have the problem the Arizona Cardinals have. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So is this a Drew Petzing problem? I think Drew Petzing, to his own right, does have a big, I want to say, factor, but yeah, I mean, there is blame to go around to Drew Petzing. Absolutely. Now, I mentioned before yesterday, I hate that we play scared. I hate that when the Cardinals go behind the chains and it's a holding call or a illegal shift, whatever it is, right? If it's 1st and 15, 1st and 20, whatever the situation is, it's most likely 2 out of those 3 plays are going to be run, run, throw, right? Or run, throw, run, right? Or throw, run, run. I don't understand why the runs are such a big factor. Like, it almost kind of feels like we're throwing away the drive. Like, we're not even going to try it. Like, we're not even going to attempt it. Like, that's what's frustrating to me when I look at Drew Petzing. And that is his control, right? To call the plays. Now, yes, Kyler can audible out of those plays as well, but he's probably most likely doing what Drew Petzing is calling in his earpiece. So that is one thing that I would say Drew Petzing, he needs to clean, he needs to fix up, he needs to evolve and stop playing scared. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Stop playing scared. Play for that first down and try to continue to move the ball down the field. So Simi Fehoko coming back, it's a breath of fresh air. I'm going to be real. He was really good in preseason. Now, I get it. He was playing with 3s and 4s, and maybe it might not translate to when he's playing with 1s and 2s, but honestly, I would take anything at this point. I'll take anything. I don't think I've ever seen this big of a problem to get a ball to a wide receiver, not name Marvin Harrison Jr. on a consistent basis, right? Now, week 1, am I making too big of a deal of it? Maybe, right? Maybe week 2, we're going to throw the ball up and down the field on the Carolina Panthers. Maybe, right? But this is not something that just happened this week. This has been a problem since last year as well. At the end of the season, at the beginning of the season, for some reason, because we're a run-heavy offense, like, that's what people tell themselves. Oh, well, it's okay that Michael Wilson has 1 yard, 10, 1 reception, 10 yards in 3 or 4 games of the year. No, that's not okay. That's not okay at all. We got to find a way to get your playmakers the ball, right? Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. Now, yes, the bulk of the guys that are going to be getting the balls thrown their way, of course, is Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. They're going to be getting 6, 7 targets a game, and I'm fine with that. But can we at least get some targets for the other guys, more than 1 or 2? Can we at least do that? Now I get it. You got to convert the third downs. You got to make sure that you're still on the field to be able to make more plays, right? Third down wasn't as bad this last game as I thought when I looked back. I mean, it was borderline around 50%, which is, it's kind of average, right? So the more and more the Arizona Cardinals convert third downs, the more and more play opportunities, right? But it's always it's always going to be like that, and I just don't get it. I don't get this whole thing that's happening with the Arizona Cardinals. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that Simi Fehoko's back. I think he had like 2 touchdowns in preseason. Give us some production. That's all I care about. Now, is he going to get the nod over Wilson and Jones? Probably not, right? Probably not. But hey, we will take it as it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead. We got a couple comments here in the chat. We got Power Glock. What's up? He says, always be playing to score. Pretty lame to start the clock game with 8 minutes left and you're up by 10. Yeah, true. 100%. But here's the thing, too. I'm wondering if it's also because Jonathan Gannon came out and said that he got into, like, he told Drew Petzing at one point. Now, it was one specific drive, but this definitely seems to be what's the word? Not culture, but like the way that they do things. Like, I don't understand it either, right? Like, there is no way the Cardinals should be as conservative as they were in the last 8 minutes, right? 8 minutes, or maybe that full fourth quarter. They should be playing with their foot on the gas and try to keep scoring more points. That's how they should be playing, right? And unfortunately, penalties occurred. We were kind of just giving up on drives. There were some incompletes here and there, and it didn't look good in the second half. Kyler Murray looked pretty solid, right? I think he had like 140, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. The second half was abysmal, right? In terms of yardage. Now, that's not all on Kyler. It's the game flow of the game as well. But like, yeah, that's not okay, man. That's definitely not okay. So I agree with you, Power Clock, 100%. Jameson in the chat says, let Kyler call the game at this point. I don't know if he's at that point in his career, or I'm not sure if they have the confidence for him to do that. I know he's able to audible. I know he's able to change a play if he sees something, that he can, diagnose at pre-snap, maybe change the play. I know he's got the autonomy to do something like that, but for him to call the plays, I don't know if the Arizona Cardinals are going to do that to Drew Petzing. Like that is like, I see where you're coming from, right? I see where you're coming from, but I don't think the Arizona Cardinals will ever do that. And I know we're always going to point back to the time that Kyler Murray was calling plays during preseason. Keep in mind that was preseason, right? We never seen it happen in a regular season game. Now, will he be good? Who knows, right? We don't know, right? We don't know. It's just, I don't think it's just there. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. Any updates on Panther injuries? I think for the most part, the Panthers, for the big names out there, I don't think there's any big injuries for the Panthers. We were pretty spot on when we were talking about the Saints, and I believe we made the video on Wednesday when we first brought it to your guys' attention that Chase Young was on the injury report, as well as Trevor Penning, which was one of their offensive linemen. They were on the injury report, and then a lot of people were like, oh, it's not a big deal, man. It's not a big deal. It's going to be fine. It's just Wednesday, this, and that. But come to find out that none of those guys were there on Sunday, right? They were ruled out. But for the most part, I don't really see anything here from the Carolina Panthers. I think they're, for the most part, very, very healthy, just like the Arizona Cardinals are fairly healthy, with obviously the exception of Joey Blount that just has now been moved to the IR, right? We might have, looking at the Panthers, there might be, like, I'm looking at, like, none of these names I don't think you guys would even know, right? Like, we already know Jalen Coker, which is one of their wide receivers, was already put on the injury reserve before the start of the season. Like, in September 9th, there is an offensive lineman. Is it Akeem Okwanu? He's listed as questionable right now. So, I mean, that could be a potential right there, right? That could potentially be a potential right there for the Carolina Panthers as maybe somebody that might not make it. I mean, he's questionable right now. We don't know, right? Other than that, that's pretty much the extent and what we know right now from the Carolina Panthers. But for the most part, they're healthy, right? For the most part, they're healthy. And that is their left tackle. So for you guys that don't know, which I didn't know either, I just had to look it up. Akeem Okwanu is actually their left tackle. And right now he is listed as questionable. So he's really the only guy. Cardinals are fairly healthy, exception of Joey Blount. We did just elevate Simi Fehoko, which is good news. Any chance we can get a new wide receiver in his wide receiving core, I'll take it. I'll take it. Xavier Weaver, we didn't really see very much about him. So I think Simi is probably going to get that same sort of treatment. So for what it's worth, there's that. Anyone know where to buy the Nike rivalry jersey? So I heard that you should actually be able to buy it now. I just saw it on X and Twitter that you can actually purchase it now, and I believe it's on Fanatics.com. You can purchase it on there, or if you want to wait to get the physical, right, go to a store. I called multiple Just Sports around the Valley area, and they said that they are going to be selling the Nike rivalry jerseys on Thursday, so tomorrow. So for what it's worth, they should be playing, or they should be selling them on Just Sports tomorrow, was what I heard. So, but yeah, on Fanatics.com, you should be able to purchase your own Nike rivalry jersey. They range anywhere between $139 to $189. So for what it's worth, go check out Fanatics.com, and you should be able to purchase it there online, or wait till tomorrow and go to like a Just Sports. They should be able to have it. John says, yep, you can go to Fanatics, 100%. Let's keep it with the chat here. Brandon in the chat. What's up, Brandon? Like, I'm tired of he's just a pocket passer when seemingly every other QB can slide in the pocket. Are we talking about K1? Talking about K1? I probably missed a good portion of this conversation that's probably already happening here in the chat. So we'll keep it going. X in the chat says, we played to win and we won. If the field goal was good, we would win that game in victory formation. And that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, we did miss a kick from Chad Ryland. So that's fair. It probably could have been, 23-13. So up by 2 points. That's fair. Now, there is some news coming around. There is some news coming around here. It seems like in the practice for the Arizona Cardinals, there's 2 players that did not show up in the open parts of practice. Tip Ryman and linebacker Cody Simon. Now, Cody Simon, he also got hurt the same play that Joey Blount got hurt. Now, we didn't hear any news on Cody Simon yet, but we're just seeing a report from people that are in the camp, and they're saying that tight end Tip Ryman is not there, as well as rookie linebacker Cody Simon is not there as well. So take that for what it's worth. It is still Wednesday. It might be Tip Ryman had an excuse. We don't know. Jonathan Gannon didn't really provide too much information when it came down to it, but the big news that just dropped today is the fact that Joey Blount has now been moved to IR. Joey Blount has now been moved to IR, and he's done for the season with a neck injury. Cardinals are elevating wide receiver Simi Fehoko. So for what it's worth, there's that. We got over 70 people here in the chat. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. Smack up the like button. If you're here on the YouTube side, do me that huge favor. Smack up the like button. Right now, we're sitting with 18 likes with over 70 of you guys here in the chat. Thank you guys for being here up and foremost. Appreciate y'all. We do got something else in the NFL world. I'm not sure if you guys heard, but the Miami Dolphins are a terrible team. It seems like Jeremy Fowler's coming out and saying that the Dolphins received trade calls on Tyreek Hill, but they didn't show interest in moving him. I know the reason why we're bringing up Tyreek Hill is because when I was in conversation yesterday with my guy Mythic, he ended up saying that he saw a couple maybe fans or some like trade mocks coming out saying that the Cardinals should trade for Tyreek Hill. I personally don't want Tyreek Hill myself. I will do without him. Like, if the Cardinals really do it, I guess it is what it is. I just feel like it would be very, very like you should have done something in the draft that's what you were going to do. Like, I personally don't understand the high confidence that Monty Fort had in the wide receiving core. Like, I truly don't understand it. There's just more room for excuses at the end of the day. Like, there's just more room for excuses in my eyes. I don't like that we're running with the same wide receiving core that we had last year. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say that I know more than Monty. Obviously, I don't. but that was one of the, I feel like, biggest misses that the Arizona Cardinals should have done this offseason, is either draft a young wide receiver or bring in somebody that was different. And with the production that we've seen, I just hope that next week I can be proved wrong. That's all I can hope for. That's all I can hope for. Now, we did mention there's some players that are not practicing today. It seems like per Theo Mackey of Arizona Central, there seems like there's another player that was not in practice. So shout out here to Theo Mackey. He says Tip Ryman, Cody Simon, and Kelvin Beachum absent from the open portion of Cardinals practice. Simon has a concussion, and Beachum is likely a vet rest day, but not sure why Ryman isn't practicing. So there it is. There it is. Beachum, Cody Simon, Tip Ryman. And now we also do got Donnie Durham from SI saying John Gaines too. So 4 people. 4 people. With the accumulation of all these reports coming out, seems like there's 4 players that are missing from practice. These 3, and then you add John Gaines in there as well. So there's that. There's that. For the most part, the Arizona Cardinals are healthy, though. For the most part, the Arizona Cardinals are healthy. Richie G in the chat says, what happened to Joey Blount? He was concussed in week 1. He was concussed in week 1 during a special teams play along with Cody Simon, rookie linebacker that we got in the 4th round. Okay, I'm sorry. So let me make a quick edit. It seems like Gaines was there. Sorry. He remade his tweet. So John Gaines was there. So it's just those 3 guys. Tip Ryman, Kelvin Beachum, and Cody Simon. So going back to what we were talking about, Joey Blount, yeah, he got hurt in week 1 in a special teams play along with Cody Simon. This morning, we ended up hearing Jonathan Gannon come out and saying that Joey Blount's done for the season. Big blow, huge blow. Biggest reason why it's a big blow is because he was a captain for one thing, and he was a dynamite special teams player for the Cardinals. So it leads me to ask the question, what were the Arizona Cardinals going to do when you made a move like that, right? What did the Arizona Cardinals did? They ended up elevating Simi Fehoko. So for the people that are just joining, Simi Fehoko is now on the active roster, which this one was probably one of the biggest, I guess, surprises that Cardinal fans had when it came down to the 53-man roster. This was one of the biggest surprises, to be real with you. The Simi Fehoko. People were like, wait, what? Him and Darren Hall were the biggest surprises, I would say. For the most part, the 53-man roster was constructed and really dependent on would the Arizona Cardinals remove Walter, Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, or Ojulari off the PUP list. They didn't. They didn't, right? So there's that. So now Fehoko is now signed to the active roster. So I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. Simi's back. He was really good in special teams. Not special teams. I'm so sorry. What am I talking about? He was really good in preseason, and I just hope that that somehow translates. And hopefully he gets some sort of opportunity, if I'm going to be real. If I'm going to be real. Now, let me say this. We do have some people asking here in the chat about the 49ers. Right now, I think the 49ers are going to withhold information probably until as long as they can for potentially not having what, I guess, I don't know, give the upper hand to the Saints. Because the Saints, like I mentioned before, they're going through a tour of the NFC West. They had us, they got the 49ers next, and then after that, they got the Seahawks in week 3. So, like I was saying before, right now we're dealing in a world where I think the 49ers are not going to give any information until maybe Thursday, tomorrow, or maybe even Friday. What's the big names in question? Brock Purdy, their quarterback. Wide receiver, Jawan Jennings, right? So we'll see. We'll see. The 49ers better not underestimate the Saints team. That is a very good Saints team, if I might say so myself. And they almost took it to overtime. That's a good team. The biggest unknown is the quarterback, and he played pretty solid, if I'm going to be real. He played pretty solid. Martin on the chat says, I still don't know why people are so high on the 49ers. It's recency bias is what it is. It's recency bias. I don't think people know how to function within looking at the NFC West without the 49ers being in contention for the West or at one point dominating the West, right? I think it's just recency bias, if I'm going to be real, right? When a national talking head looks at the NFC West, what are the most recent guys that won the division? Rams and the 49ers. Those have been the 1-2 guys, right? But if you actually dissect the 49ers, that's not a Super Bowl team anymore. That's not a division winning team anymore. And the injuries that are already starting to pile up, that's going to affect them. So I don't get it either. I personally don't. I don't know why people are so high on the 49ers. Well, I guess there's another thing. They got a really easy schedule on paper. So I think it's recency bias, and they got an easy schedule on paper. But it's up to the Cardinals. It's up to the Cardinals. Once the Cardinals can prove that they can win the West again, and it hasn't happened in years since 2015. So once the Cardinals can prove it, then national talking heads will talk about us. As of right now, the Cardinals are where they should be as potential guys that could win the West, but we're not thinking too far ahead, right? One game at a time. Let's focus on the Panthers and go from there. Mafia on the chat says Kittle is on IR. Yup. They moved Kittle to IR yesterday. We talked about the big shakeup that happened in the NFC West on Monday, I believe. And on Tuesday, the 49ers made the decision to move George Kittle, their superstar tight end, to IR. Yep. So he's missing a total of at least 4 weeks. At least 4 weeks being put on IR. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sir Knight says, unfortunately, yep, he's on IR. Jonathan in the chat says it's their schedule. Yeah, their schedule is really easy on paper too. Yep, 100%. I just hope the 49ers say I hope the 49ers become arrogant and said, "Oh, we can beat the Saints without Purdy. Let Purdy sit." Right? I hope they're like that, and then the Saints can give them a little taste or two, and hopefully get them some sort of L. But I think the 49ers are gonna. I think there's gonna be a lot of wins within the NFC West this week. Maybe not the Seahawks. Maybe not the Seahawks, especially going to the East Coast and playing the Steelers. But I think there's going to be a lot of wins within the NFC West. And that's why it's very important that the Cardinals win this game versus the Panthers. It's not going to be easy to stay within this division. But the most favorable part of your schedule is this beginning part. Take advantage of what you can take care of. Chef in the chat says, we got to beat the Panthers. I can't go another losing Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm not sure if you guys saw my preview yesterday that I released, but we played 8 games since 2015, and that's including a playoff game with the Panthers. Since 2015, we played a total of 8 games, including a playoff game with the Panthers. They are 7-1 against us. We are 1-7 against the Panthers. Yikes. Yeah, that's not good. It doesn't make me sleep at night at all. But that's the real nature of the beast. This is a team that for some reason, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. They somehow find a way to beat us. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But it's time to finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, beat that narrative. So it seems like, per Josh Weinfuss, the Cardinals are actually working out a few players. Seems like the Arizona Cardinals are working out a few players. 1 second. Oh. I guess there was a practice squad move as well. Let's get to that. There seems like there was a practice squad move as well for the Arizona Cardinals per Josh Weinfuss of ESPN. Check this out. All right. So not only did Joey Blount, done for the season with a neck injury, done for the season. Seems like the Arizona Cardinals moved Simi Fehoko, which we already knew, to the active roster. But they signed linebacker Channing, is it Tyndall, to the practice squad. Okay. So, new player to the practice squad as well. But they definitely seemed like they were working out a good amount of linebackers as well. Trace Ford, Nicholas Morrow, Antoine Powell Ryland, and then Duke Riley. So there was a total of 5 linebackers worked out for the Cardinals today, and the one they decided to sign is Tyndall. Cool. Okay. Obviously, not breaking news, not ground shaking news, but there it is. Appreciate Josh Weinfist for keeping us up to date and what's currently going on in the world of the Arizona Cardinals. Sir Knight in the chat says, who? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. No clue. I have no clue. So right now, just practice squad guys, right? Just practice squad guys right now. So we'll see. Let's keep it with the chat. We got John John. What's up, John John? We played them in the playoffs the year before too, I think. Yeah. We played them in 2014, right? 2014 is when isn't that when we lost Carson? Right? 2014 is when we lost Carson. We ended up losing with Ryan Lindley. 2015, we went back and they swept the floor with the Cardinals. Swept the floor with the Cardinals in 2015. The Panthers were the Super Bowl team along with the Broncos. And I think the Broncos won, if I can remember correctly. And yeah. But yeah, no, I'm just talking about since 2015. So it's a team that always, for some reason, has our number. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But there's that. The Cardinals need to win this, man. They need to win this game. Any updates on Cody Simon? Right now, no. The only thing that we heard or seen, per the reports, he's not in practice. But I don't think Jonathan Gannon provided any information. He's probably still in the concussion protocol as of right now, because that's the latest update that we got. Concussion protocol for probably Cody Simon. But other than that, there's no other updates but that. Then name all those quarterbacks we had to go through between Warner and Palmer. You remember all those quarterbacks? Good God, it was a nightmare. Remind me of those names here. Throw some names here in the chat. Let's relive some terrible quarterback play for the Arizona Cardinals in the chat. And while you guys do that, let me give some quick love on over to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, Sleeper. Go ahead and make sure you check out Sleeper. Everything will be in the description below. If you use this promo code AZSF, they will provide you with a 100% deposit match up to $100 on your first initial deposit. Check out Sleeper. They got a great game on there, hires and lowers, where you can go ahead and create the best roster you can to potentially get yourself 100% times your money, if it's correct. But you can, make a roster consists of, yardage, touchdowns thrown, fantasy points, right? All these different stuff. You can create the best roster you can to go ahead and potentially 100 times your money. So make sure you check out Sleeper, proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it going. I told you guys, give me those names of quarterbacks that were between Warner and Palmer. Remind me. Sam Bradford. Good God. That's a name I did not want to hear ever again. Blaine Gabbert. Man, I forgot about that guy. Good God. John Skelton. Drew Stanton was solid. He was a solid backup. But yeah, we could throw him in there too if you want. That's fine. Who else? Max Hall. Yo, I remember when Max Hall won us a game. This fan base went wild, man. When Max Hall won us a game, this fan base went wild. We're like, we got our franchise quarterback. And then this guy was pretty bad, man. It wasn't good. It wasn't good one bit. Max Hall, good God. These are terrible. Let's keep it going here. Who else? Lindley was the worst. Derek Anderson. RC3 doubling down with Anderson. I still remember that press conference when he got so upset because the media member ended up asking why you were smiling or joking around. He was like, "I take this serious," right? Oh man, I still remember that till the day. Good God. Good God. Bradford, Skelton, Anderson, Cobb, Hall. Yo, man, we've been through the ringer, y'all. We've been through the ringer when it comes down to these quarterbacks. Thank God for Warner. Thank God for Palmer. Everything else in between has been not good. Not good. That's to put it nicely, ladies and gentlemen. Good God. Yeah, Max Hall. Yep. No bueno, man. No bueno at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For the new people that are just here and just joining the chat, do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. Smack up the like button. Smack up the like button. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes by the time we end this stream. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. We are talking about the latest moves that the Cardinals have done today. And the big one is breaking news that dropped that Joey Blount is done for the season with a neck injury. He is now on IR for the remaining of the 2025 season. The Cardinals elevate wide receiver Simi Fehoko, which is a really good player in preseason. Let's see and hope he gets an opportunity, fingers crossed. And then it seems like the Arizona Cardinals did also sign somebody to their practice squad, and that's linebacker Channing Tindall. Nope, not Channing Tatum, Channing Tyndall. And for the people out there that are saying who, I have no clue either. I don't know. I don't know. It's practice squad guy, and that seems like that's what the Cardinals are going to be rolling with in the practice squad. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. We got terrible luck with QBs named Josh. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, dang. You know, honestly, David Blau had his moments. He wasn't good, but he also wasn't ASS. Like he had his moments. Like he wasn't good. I'm not I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. He was like, yeah, it was. I forgot about David Blau. But David Blau was recent, I feel. Wasn't that pretty recent? I feel like that was probably within the last like 5 years. David Blau was here. I was talking about more from the Warner through Palmer. Those guys, man. Those guys. Liner, we could throw Liner in there. Yeah, we could throw Liner in there. At one point, Liner beat out Warner for the starting job. I don't get it. Yeah, but yep, Sam Bradford. Yeah, we all remember that. Good God, that was a terrible decision. One thing we can say now and laugh is that Keim wasn't good. That's why a lot of my content was geared to get that man out of the GM office, and it somehow finally came to an end. So I'm happy. I'm glad we got Monty. Is he still a little? I want to say timid, but is he still a little too conservative? I mean, a little bit. If I'm going to be real, right? It's a little conservative, right? When you see teams bringing in guys like you know, is it Javon? Sorry, Clowney, right? Why am I blanking on his name? Clowney. What's his first name? Jadeveon. How did I forget about that? So yeah, Jadeveon Clowney, right? Like, and I'm not saying we need a rusher, but I'm just saying like there's players out there the Cardinals can bring that are a little bit more of names. And I get it, they're older, they're more veterans, and some people might not think that they're not good anymore. But we've had some success, right? We brought in Dwight Freeney under the Steve Keim regime, and he did really well for the Cardinals. He really did. But we'll see. He's conservative, right? The trading aspect of Monty Austin Ford's game is not there yet. I think free agency, he had a really good free agency this year. The draft, I always liked his drafts. It's just the trades. It's not there yet. David Blau was in the conversation for starting spot with Dobbs, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, Dobbs was recent. Not Dobbs. Blau. Blau was recent. Yeah, I didn't mind him too much. I didn't mind him too much. If I'm gonna be real. What about? Wow, I forgot about Chris Trevler. Holy mother, I forgot about Chris Trevler. I think he spent some time in the CFL, if I can remember correctly. I think he was in the CFL for a little bit. If not CFL, it was probably the UFL. I like seeing where some of these quarterbacks go, man. It's pretty fascinating. Let's see if there's any other news that dropped. I don't see anything else right now. I'm not seeing anything else as of right now. Those are the big updates that are happening right now for the Arizona Cardinals right now. So what we pretty much said. Let's go. Oh, bruh. Logan Thomas, quarterback slash tight end, right? If I can remember correctly. He was a quarterback at one point. That's crazy. Logan Thomas, quarterback slash tight end. That's nuts, man. All right, you guys are making me feel way too darn old, bro. You're making me feel way too darn old. Let's do this right here. Let's do this right here. Maul's in the chat's chiming in. Yikes. Yikes. I forgot about that name too, man. Yikes. Wow. Mike, why is there a two price? That's a good question. I don't know. I didn't really look too much into it. There is a big price difference. I see a James Conner at $189.99. And for the most part, all the other ones that I'm seeing is at $139.99. Like the Trey McBride one, $139.99. Marv, $139. James Conner, collection limited jersey. I don't know. Maybe Stitch. Maybe it's stitched. I don't know. It doesn't really say, to be honest with you. I have no clue. No clue. But I really haven't really looked too much into it either to know. But that is pretty weird. Obviously, go for the cheaper price. Obviously, go for the cheaper price. Yeah, I'm gonna call myself one of these for sure. It's gonna be probably most likely gonna be a McBride, if I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I'm excited about it. All right. So to recap, people that are just joining in right now, Simi Fehoko is now to the active roster. Let's see what he can do for the Arizona Cardinals. Joey Blount is now done for the season. Captain, special teamer slash safety is done for the season with the neck injury, now on IR. And the Arizona Cardinals did bring in a linebacker for their practice squad. And it's going to be none other than Channing Tindall. So, yeah, don't really know too much about him, to be real. But, yeah. You're going to get Buddha. Nice. Yeah, I don't know what you guys can get, but yeah, I'm definitely probably going to cop one of those Trey McBride ones. It's probably what I'm going to go for. I need to get that helmet, though. If I can get that helmet, I feel like will be the trifecta that I need to get. I need to get that helmet to put right here on this shelf is what I'm looking forward to. All right, let's do this. Let's close up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are all absolutely amazing. We are getting ready for week 2 of the NFL season. We got the Panthers coming our way, and it's not going to be an easy matchup to say that they always seem to beat us. But here's the chance for the Cardinals to go ahead and start off at 2-0. I hope that they come in here ready to play and execute big explosive plays, because the Cardinals are going to need everything to go against this team that beat them last year and took away playoff aspirations and hopes last year. Let's take that as motivation, and hopefully the Arizona Cardinals come out with the dub. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's close up shop right here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You guys are all absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't already subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We're on the road to 18K. 18K. So thank you guys, everybody. As well, subscribe. I just said that. Smack the like button. Smack the like button, everybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals.